I've just started studying composition for media, and I would love to take back that cheesy, if you could offer one piece of advice to the people in my class who are also just sort of setting out along this kind of path, what would be the one thing that you could say?
Oh, I would tell you, don't only study music for media. I would say study filmmaking and study film history. Get the AFI 100 list of best movies and watch every one of them, and see how that music is helping to tell those stories of those movies. Become part filmmaker is what you really need to do. If you want to work in movies, if you want to score films, you have to be part filmmaker. You have to kind of understand storytelling. So take literature classes, study any sort of story class you can get your hands on. Take an editing class, take some filmmaking classes, go and make a movie. This is so important because everything you do for that job is going to be communicating with people who have no idea how to talk about music for the most part. But if you can talk about storytelling and filmmaking and all of that, you will be way ahead of the game. So, music is secondary in some respects to this job. It's the instincts of storytelling that you want to focus on, and don't forget that aspect of it.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
Yep. You're welcome.
Let me add one little thing to that. I've worked with a lot of young composers over the years, and that's one of the most important things I've always told them is that the music is yours until you get to the studio. Once you walk onto that stage, the music now belongs to the filmmaker. Everything in your music has to serve the film. It's called underscore for a reason. The music is not the principal thing. It's the film, and your music has to serve the film. And you can't be too precious. The biggest burnout I've ever seen, well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest I've seen happen when a composer came in and the producer said, I really don't like the way those flutes work against that scene. And the composer immediately began to defend why he wanted to keep the flutes. And it's like, dude,
I wrote really nice flute lines for that.
It was like,
No, he's so
it
right.
wasn't Michael. It wasn't Michael.
I'm just kidding. But he's right.
You gotta, I told you, you just go, oh, okay, then let's try this. It's their music at that point. So that's the biggest thing I think you can remember.
I even think about that even when I'm writing it. I feel like it belongs to the movie. From day one, for me, it always belongs to the movie. I'm there to serve the movie. Brad Bird, who directed The Incredibles, that was my first movie. And he said to me, when he first hired me, he said, look, I'm really excited to work with you, but I just got to tell you, your music could ruin my movie. And I was like, I just got hired on my first big job, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna get fired before I even start. And he said, listen, what I mean is, if your music is not hand in hand with my storytelling, then the audience is going to start thinking things we don't want them to think. They're going to start feeling things we don't want them to feel. We can't have that. So you and I have to be 100% on board. So that's why I always tell young composers, don't write the music you want to hear. Write the music that the movie is asking for. Write the music that belongs to the emotional aspect of the scene you're writing to, in the films and the characters. It belongs to them. It's not yours. If you want to write music that just you want to hear, then you can write concert music, and that's a great thing too. Yeah.
Michael, I know